I should probably bring up my computer, shouldn't I? Just so I can see what the hell's going on. I can barely read the chat on my phone. I can barely. Oh man, just been in such a mood lately. I don't know what it is. There's something in the air, or just a combination of just everything that's going on in my life. It's miserable. It's probably not in the air. That'd be weird. Or I'm just not eating right. I need to eat better. It's so hard to eat, especially when you take Adderall. I might keep this to be a short stream. Maybe I'll do a stream on TikTok later too. I don't know. Hey, Yeehaw. Yeehaw, what the fuck is wrong with you? How late is it for you? It's like fucking, isn't it like 3 in the morning for you guys? Hello, Christina. What's happening? That's probably part of the reason why, right there. Jesus Christ. That's probably part of the reason why, right there. Whatever. Um, alright, what's up? Tessera, I can't pronounce your name, I apologize. I also can't pronounce your name, dude. I'm just gonna call you Z. Why is it so difficult for narcissists to look within themselves? Well, 2 reasons. One, personality disorders are egosyntonic. Egosyntonic means basically we don't recognize that anything's normal. We think that everybody else thinks like us, or that we are seeing the world in a more accurate way. That, on top of the fact that we have some very strong, what's it called? Shame defenses. So it's like you suggest to them that they need to do some self-reflection. That's intolerable to them. That sounds like you're attacking them. You're saying that there's things wrong with them. And we also just have very strong shame reaction about just thinking about it ourselves. Can you analyze someone for me and tell me if they are a narc? Probably not, but I mean, I can try. I don't feel like I can ever get enough information out of people to tell if somebody's a narcissist or not. I just finished watching Phil about to go to bed. Yeah, I know, I'm not one to talk. Yeah, well, that's good. Get some good sleep. Don't stay up all night watching my stream. That seems like a bad idea. Narcissists feel that we'll get away with blatantly breaking the law. Typically not. I mean, kind of. We can be grandiose about it and like overestimate our abilities to get away with stuff. But we're also very, very anxious and neurotic. It's more of a psychopath thing to just like. It's not even that psychopaths really think that. No, they think they'll get away with it, but more so just that they aren't worried if they do or not. They don't have any of that anxiety. Can I pay you to warn someone they're with a narc? Probably not. I don't know. That seems weird. Besides, if they're doing anything narcissistic that's worthy of being broken up with, that they should like run from the situation, I feel like they should be focusing on those behaviors before the fact that they might be a narcissist. How do I know if I'm narcissistic? I used to brush it off as me having a big ego, but now I'm having doubts. My go-to is asking about the hierarchy, right? Is that like, do you feel like everybody is either better or worse than other people? Like, if you walk into a room, are you like automatically ranking everybody in terms of best to worst, in terms of intelligence, attractiveness, charisma, social connectedness? Or do you find yourself constantly thinking like, in terms of people being inferior or superior? I've been so stressed lately. I've been fucking pulling out my hair. Awful. Why do narcissists like to punish their partners? Depends. For me, I'm just like very vindictive. It's just like I feel like if you do something wrong to me, and it's like, eye for an eye, I deserve to do something back to you. Daz Narc blocked me when I asked for my inheritance from my mom. Had a reason with him, or should I expose him? Um, Personally, okay, so like going on a campaign, on what is effectively a smear campaign, um, was a fucking sorry. I'm like so just out of it today. I've been so miserable lately. Fuck. Did you just spell? I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I saw, I conquered. Phonetically. What a deep cut. Don't. Yeah, like because that, or are you saying something completely different? Um. But yeah, okay. He blocked you when you asked for your inheritance from your mom. Yeah, I don't feel like going on a smear campaign would be particularly helpful. I don't think that would really push his hand, and in fact, I would say would make, in my case, I would dig in deeper and then just end up slandering you. Personally, I think the most effective way to go about that would probably be through the legal system. You can contest the will if you weren't officially left anything, or if you, how'd you find out if you're narcissistic? Um, Mainly being diagnosed. I just kind of I don't know. I always suspected it to some degree. Like I knew I didn't feel things the same way as other people. I knew that I lacked empathy, etc., etc. Hi, Christine. I hope you're having fun at the wedding, or working out the wedding. I guess you probably won't have fun working out one. Whatever. Um, and then eventually, it was just confirmed through therapy and then research afterwards. Is Andrew Tate a narc? I doubt it. I really doubt it. But I don't know that much about him because I don't really care about Andrew Tate. But he seems to be primarily motivated by physical. He doesn't seem to be motivated by status as much. He is motivated by material possessions and like sex and stuff. So he seems more, if anything, he seems more psychopathic. Good evening. I have a question for you, if you wouldn't mind. Have you ever felt motivated to make amends with an ex if you feel like they've been hurt by your behavior? Yeah, I have, and I used to do it. I used to like reach out to exes like that because like I'll get into my head being very, hi Jackie, getting very like sad about some of my behaviors, about how some relationships panned out, quasi missing them, also like going to a shame spiral about how I treated them, and I was motivated through those things to make amends. However, I did that a few times, and nowadays, why can't I focus on anything? Fuck. Nowadays, but like I had this one experience with this ex that I reached out to, and her response was, "Why are you contacting me?" And I said, "I just wanted to see how you were doing." Because I couldn't just say sorry off the rip, right? I had to ease my way into it. And I was like, I had an impulse, I acted on it or something. And she's like, "I see you haven't changed much." Like, bitch. And I actually say bitch, but I was offended. I was like, "You don't know me." And then she said she didn't believe me and thought that, and said that if I would not reach out to her if I didn't feel like I had something to gain, which made me think, wow, she really, really does not like me. But as the conversation ensued, she basically pointed out that like it wasn't fair of me to like reach out every couple of years like that, and I kind of came to the conclusion that she was right. That was a violation of her boundaries, um, and I kind of decided that hello the finisher. I kind of decided that like um, it was just disrespectful to people to reach out to them when like I have hurt them. So I just don't. If they want to reach out to me, cool, we can have a discussion, but I don't do it. Do you ever see yourself overcoming narcissism? No. I see myself modifying my behavior basically forever to be healthier, hopefully happier. Um, but I don't think, I think there's some fundamental things that just aren't going to change. I don't think my empathy, I'm never going to develop empathy. I don't think I'm ever going to, hey, Toxic Queen, what's up? Um, Toxic Queen, I'm going to answer that question once I get to it, don't worry. But, uh, but yeah, I think there's some things that are permanent, some things that can be overcome. I think my self-esteem is always going to be fluctuating and crap, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll watch more Andrew Tate just to see what I think. I mean, I'm just like so. I've just heard like a little bit of what he said, and it just sounds so uninteresting and on its face ridiculous. Like, I would need to watch it through the lens of like doing a character analysis on him, just because like there's no way in hell I'd be able to tolerate it otherwise. It just seems so boring. I hate being bored. Also, hello, Lloyd. We make more videos on ASPD. Okay, so I do want to eventually. But the issue is I don't have it, and I don't. I have basic research. Okay, more than basic. Okay, let me put it this way. I know more than the average person on it, but I don't feel as comfortable making sort of content I do about ASPD, especially long form stuff, just because I can't draw my own experiences. Um, Maybe I might do more interviews with people who are sociopathic or psychopathic or have ASPD or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Or expert. I did want to reach out to one expert. I kept forgetting. I have. I need to find his email. I completely forgot about him, but he's an expert on treating ASPD. I might reach out to him and do a video about that. What was the inspiration to create your channel? I was bored and wanted attention. Now, like mainly, it was honestly a lot of it was a general frustration at the misinformation around NPD. Because it's everywhere. There's so few people out there that I would be like, oh yeah, they make good content that's actually informative. Me needing a place to vent and attention and stuff like that. Those motivations have changed over the past year and a half, but primarily those were the things. If they stonewall you and are committing multiple felonies, e.g., kidnapping and parental alienation and stonewall fear of arrogance, they're gonna get away from it despite all the evidence that. Well, first of all, narcissistic personality disorder is not primarily associated with criminal activity. Antisocial personality disorder is. But if I were to commit a bunch of crimes like that and I'd stonewalled somebody, it'd probably just be a avoidance of shame. Combination of an avoidance of shame and an avoidance of like I just wouldn't want them to be judging me and shit. I wouldn't want to deal with it. Sandra says maybe narcissists are the universe's way of delivering people's karma back to them when they do wrong to people. Maybe their vindictiveness is warranted. If no one ever fought back, that would be bad. I don't know if I go that far, but I mean, there are some situations where vindictiveness isn't necessarily inherently bad, at least in my opinion. I don't think it's ever really bad. No, I'm joking. But I do think that's the issue with the vindictiveness of narcissists, is that we have this tendency to read malicious motivations into every single fucking situation. The worst part about being a narcissist, in my opinion, it's the loneliness. Never really being able to connect to people. feeling like just feeling like an outsider to like relationships. Like being at a bonfire and seeing everyone getting along so well, not a care in the world, being so happy and so connected to everybody, and I'm just sitting there fucking empty. Or like they try to hug me or some shit, and like I just feel like gross because like I know that they're having some like emotional moment towards me that I just cannot emulate. Everyone feeling like everyone feels like they're closer to you than you really are. Have you ever thought about acting? I have. I have. I don't know if I ever will, but I have considered it, and actually a talent agent. Well, no, not what was it? Some producer. I don't remember what their fucking title was. It wasn't a talent agent. It was like some producer tried to enlist me in working with them, and I said yes, but they never really got back to me. I don't love anyone, only myself. I don't even know if I love my. Sometimes I don't even know if I love myself. Fuck it up. I don't really love myself at all. I think I'm better than other people. I think I'm the greatest thing that's ever existed sometimes. But I wouldn't even call that self love. Like, there's no like compassion towards myself. Like, I'm not. If I'm hurt, I'm not comforting myself. I'm like berating myself. And then other times I feel worthless. So. Michael, I do like geography, I'd say. Hello, I'm completely new here. It's been the last 4 years trying to figure out what my personal issues were. It took me until now to figure it out because Dr. Romney said that they plot and scheme. Makes sense. I assume. I'm assuming you're implying that you are you likely have NPD or something because yeah, that's the thing. Dr. Romney, for all the value that she can offer, paints a lot more malice in the motivations than there really are. Why would someone think they could sexually assault you and not be vengeful? Toxic Queen, I don't know. That's so terrible. I would say, I don't know. Like, I mean, to me, I don't really understand kind of, the turn another cheek attitude. It feels ridiculous to me. It feels disingenuous. It feels like they're just trying to high road me. Getting in from Fort Worth, Texas. What's up, Nancy? Hello, Jackie. I hope you know. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm helpful. I know there are probably a lot of things that make a narcissist, but what stands out the most? Genetics or parenting? Anything specific? The etymology is kind of convoluted. So NPD actually is one of the research shows is one of the most terrible personality disorders, up to a 0.71 heritability or something like that. Seth, you're not a narcissist. You're just a dick. But also, like there is a huge, there's there is a huge link to trauma and stuff like that. How I view it and how a lot of people view it is that you have a genetic predisposition, which then can kind of be activated by it can kind of be activated by like early childhood trauma. There's actually like evidence in borderline personality disorder, which is very similar in terms of its origins and in its presentation, that that there are certain genes that are associated with borderline personality disorder that get demyelinated. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't think that it is. Demyelinated? Some epigenetics term. I don't fucking know what it's called. Demyelinated under trauma. So, like, kind of pointing in the direction of what I said. They did try to look into the specific types of trauma that could cause certain personality disorders. The only one that I could find implied that the most common form of trauma for people with NPD go through some sort of sexual trauma, while the most common for borderline personality disorder is sexual and emotional trauma. And then, thank you, I am not here, and ASPD through physical trauma. Question my next arc threw a fit because I wanted to buy him a B-Day gift. He didn't want me to. He was rude. Next day he changed his mind. I said, no thanks. Now he's not speaking to me. Why? If I was in that situation, it would be that I was trying to make it look like I was, like humble, or like try and make it, it's like, you shouldn't do that for me. Like, that's not necessary, blah, blah. Like, play that kind of card up. But then I secretly wanted you to, so then I changed your mind because it seems like I just acquiesced. And then when you took it back, I felt entitled to the gift. I'm getting pissed off about it. It's like, well, why wouldn't you get me a gift on my birthday, even though I told you not to? Thank you, Toxic Queen. My fuck it. My black shirts are great. I mean, it would surprise me if I got off on hurting people, but I don't, unless they deserve it. See, I like it's a definite myth that narcissists are inherently sadistic. I mean, that could be an associated trait depending on the person, the presentation. But I only really enjoy hurting people if like I'm getting revenge over something I feel like I'm just in it. Funny, I told somebody recently for being misogynistic. He denied by trying to talk to me like I'm dumb. Karma. 2 days later, his Facebook got hacked and it sent Andrew Tate videos to his friends. That just sounds like he was lying. But I just sent it to him and then lied about it. Samantha, why did I take that down? I was just embarrassed of it, more or less. I don't like people looking at me in situations like that. Oh, what's going on, Ray? Thank you. How's things going? Anything good or bad recently? Self-aware journey. I too am a narcissist, by the way. Cluster buddies represent. My sister gave birth, so that's cool. I still have to go visit that baby. Other than that, I've just kind of been a mess. Like for the past, I swear to God, for the past few months, I've just been in such not a good place. And I have some guesses what's causing that, but hopefully I can get those fixed. What month is it? It's time for leave. Oh well. Thank you, Bozeman. I'm glad it's helping. I mean, that's the thing, is that I feel like there's like these two camps of people who talk about NPD. And I would say the one is way more vocal and big than the other. But there's because there's the people who really dehumanize narcissists. And I feel like, obviously we should not, obviously we shouldn't be, ignoring the kinds of harm that people with NPD can cause, or cluster B disorders in general, right? We need to be able to recognize those, because being in denial about them is just counterproductive. These are things that need to be worked on. And ignoring them is just, because some people, because there's also these groups of people that are mainly borderlines who are like, oh, it's ableist to say that narcissistic abuse is real, or and we could have a whole conversation about whether narcissistic abuse is real or not, right? Because I have some issues with the term itself, just because there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Hence why I just kind of avoid using the term, but I don't really care if people do use it. It can be a useful shorthand. It's just because of how it's used nowadays, I don't find it very helpful. Then, in terms of, but then there's groups that like do dehumanize narcissists and reduce them purely to their symptomology, and treat them as like monsters. I mean, like, and you can see this with the whole like no contact crowd, where it's like, okay, if the only reason you're making a decision to leave somebody is because they're a narcissist, I feel like you should reassess why you're leaving the person. I think if they're worth leaving, there might be reasons related to their narcissism, but it's not about their narcissism, it's about them mistreating you. Or narcissists will recover in AA, admit alcohol is a problem, why not their significant others? Did you ask this already last time? I don't remember. I feel like you did, Rocky. Anyways, but no, good question though, because I personally, what I see it as is that like they're able to separate it from themselves. It's like, oh, I don't have a It's like there's nothing inherently flawed with me. It's just like I suffer from alcoholism itself, right? It's instead of saying it's an inherent flaw with them, it's a issue that alcoholism is a thing affecting them. Honestly, admitting that they have alcoholism, I would argue, is a almost an out. Do narcissists get jealous easily? Jealous or envious? Because people usually don't make a distinction between those things. But they are very different. Jealousy is when you're basically afraid you're going to lose something that you have, right? Your partner's hanging out with somebody and you're like, that negative feeling you experience would be jealousy. As for envy, envy is when you covet something somebody else has. You desire what you don't have. And envy is a diagnostic criteria. So narcissists are often very envious. I'm envious of basically most things, and I believe everyone's envious of me. As for jealousy, I would not say I get jealous more than others, if I'm being honest. People with paranoid personality disorder, they get jealous pathologically. They accuse their partners of cheating and shit all the time. I've never really, but like in my relationships at least, I never really get jealous. But that being said, it might come off like jealousy sometimes, because sometimes if somebody's telling me about like let's say I have a girlfriend who's that's like being hit on, right, and she tells me about it, and doesn't actively shut it down, I won't get jealous, but I'll think that she's trying to manipulate me into getting jealous, because I do that, and it really pisses me off because I feel like they're trying to manipulate me. Other than that, I don't really get jealous. How common is your paranoia? How easily is it triggered? Depends on my emotional stability at the time, honestly. It really depends on like what kind of space I'm in. Like if I'm in like a relatively good mood, like I'm not paranoid at all. I'm like trusting as shit. But if I'm like a mess, I'll do so. It's a hair trigger at that point. And it depends how I feel about the person, too. I'm familiar with Sam Backman, yes. I assume you're talking about Sam Backman. I am not. I think, let me put it this way. I'd recommend him before, say, if you want information on MPD, I'd recommend him before Dr. Romney. I wouldn't go, or like fucking HT Tutor, but I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend him. What's something lots of people believe about MPD, but simply isn't true, such misinformation? I mentioned earlier the sadism thing. What else? I don't know. Like, there's just so much. Like, I could just do a Google search right now. Yeah, actually, let me do that. I'm going to look up an article on narcissists, and I'm going to point out everything that's wrong in it. Like, let me find like some fucking BuzzFeed shit. Try and find a good one. If anybody has an article that you want me to review, fucking send it now. What is this? Um, a narcissist's freakiest weapon, delusional amnesia. What does that even mean? Here, how to tell somebody's a narcissist. Oh my god, this is fucking funny. 1. Monopoly on conversation. You might wonder how to tell if you're a narcissist. They're playing narcissist traits, but monopoly on conversation is one of the most obvious. Baby. Ray. Sorry, Ray. I was getting you. I was going to get to your question. I got distracted, though. I apologize. I will, though. Like, actually, yeah, I'll answer Ray's questions, and if you guys want to send me an article for me to fucking critique, go ahead. Did you ever go back to therapy? I haven't, not yet. I need to. It's just fucking hard for me to fucking. It is hard for me to like get the motivation to right now. What are you doing to cope with life? Drinking mainly. Having NPD recent struggles, I hope it gets better soon. Well, I appreciate it, man. I do. My main I've been honestly, I've been trying to eat better. Trying being the operative word. But I do need to start doing some stuff. I've been really trying to socialize more, just because I know that always gets me up, and having like goals and learning shit. I haven't really dedicated myself to my studies in a while. I really need to. You have a lovely evening too, Jackie. I am 24. I find ritual visiting a newborn be so stressful. I feel so awkward around babies. I don't know what to do around them. Freaks me out. I don't want to hold them. I'm afraid I'm going to drop them or something. Like, I wouldn't on purpose, but, you know. There seems to be crossover certain symptoms with autism. I often feel also your name is hilarious. Oh wait, I misread it. Okay, it's still a good username, Autistic Autumn. But not what I thought it was. I thought it was like Autistic Autist, and I was like, well, that's a little redundant and funny. But there's actually a paper written that suggests that narcissistic personality disorder is just a form of high functioning autism. I don't believe that whatsoever. I would say there's like a few similarities that I see. Primarily alexithymia, like not being able to recognize our own emotions. But yeah, visceral mentalization-based treatment is, I very much agree. It's very, very much targeting egosyntonic thinking. I think that's and that's why I view it as such a so instrumental in treating personality pathology, because it's a active challenging of all of your conclusions and preconceptions about people, challenging what you believe and why you believe it. And I think that's probably one of the coolest things about it, is that it's not just challenging it, but it's asking you why you think that. It's basically leading you to challenge yourself. I've never dated another narcissistic person. No. I never really had the opportunity to. I've only met one other in real life, and they were a man. So that wouldn't have worked for me, for obvious reasons. I guess it's not that obvious, but I am straight. I am attracted to them in like a friendship manner. Me and Tess are like really good friends, but not romantically, really. Jared, can we use someone saying empathies use sarcastic quotation marks? It's fucking funny. Well, it's hard to say, honestly. I have very mixed feelings on the construct of an empath, because there are people who do have increased emotional empathy. And, you could colloquially call these people empaths. I think it's a dumb word, but you could. And I think it's, disingenuous to. That's the thing. I think it's disingenuous to ignore those people exist. On the other hand, though, the people who call themselves empaths, and I'm not saying all of them, but there's quite a few of them that seem rather insufferable. Have you guys ever thought about creating meetings for you all? Oh, like Narcissist Anonymous. I've actually been working on that. Because, like, we obviously have online support groups, and those are, like, really cool. But I feel like there's a big limit on how much that can genuinely help somebody. Um, like, like that, there's only so much of a support system that can provide. So I've been working on trying to create an in-person group for personality disorders in general, because I thought, like, given narcissists are only like 0.5% of the population. Yeah, actually, so I looked in. I was actually watching a Craig Malkin video the other day, and he talked about that 6% figure, and apparently what happened in that and why that 6% figure is so high is because it was like a bunch of people who weren't clinicians, and they overdiagnosed literally everything: personality disorders, mood disorders, schizophrenia, and stuff like that. Everything. And so it looked like there was like this huge increase in pathological narcissism and NPD, or its prevalence, but it was really just incompetent researchers. And then when they actually did it again with just clinicians or people familiar with personality disorders, all those scores went back down. So it's between 0.5 and 2%. Would absolutely implode my life, Jacob. I'm not really exaggerating. I'm so upset with this guy. I don't know who he thinks he is. He got me extremely triggered. Like, situations like that, I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I supposed to tell anybody, no, don't do that? don't fucking just destruct the world. Like, I say, I personally trust your judgment more with your full knowledge of the situation more than I would trust mine. Gray Lizard, I'm not sure what that percentage was, if I'm being honest. And honestly, because the research is just very, what's the word? It's very scarce in the relationship because they really do just tend to group all forms of trauma together when doing that kind of research. I'll look into it though. I'll see if I can find something eventually. I do like geography, yes. I will mainly more so history than geography. What happened to the 24 ounce? What? My beer? I just wasn't feeling beer today. Samantha says somebody had a good comment on your TikTok saying that self-reflection is sometimes the extent of NPD's growth. Do you think you focus only on that, or do you how you treat and affect others? I would say like self-reflection is my kind of wheelhouse. But I think both of those things are important. But I definitely focus more on self-reflection and why I do things. Toxic, I will move in with you. I swear to God. Also, hi Judy. Sandra, I might put on some music. I haven't decided, but like it's the issue is that like that takes away from the monetization. Like I'll still get money, but I have to share the revenue then. I don't want to. Oh yeah, autistic autumn. I was trying to think of more similarities between MPD and autism. Honestly, alexithymia is one of the only ones that I see consistently, and that I know is like a validated resource. But that's it. Hey, call me Nevermore. How's it going? Have I ever regretted this card? I go through cycles. Of my regrets. Usually, I can get very capricious about it, but generally, I am fighting against that to a point that like it doesn't really impact me. I'm not even sure if I'd get those regrets if I didn't drink. Hello, Leia. Yes, I might. Would be a bad idea. Aw, Jessica. I'm sorry that you're feeling like that. I'm probably not gonna make you feel better tonight, though. I've been in a mood. And no, Seth, M was not. Well, okay. Wow, referring to her as M is really misleading, given my other ex. Whatever. My other. Well, wow, a lot of my exes. There's multiple M names, and then there's just M. But no, she had some. She had like some emotional cutoffs, but she wasn't an arc now. Um, See, it's hard to say if somebody is. I feel like for me, it really depends. I feel like I fluctuate between grandiosity and vulnerability more often than most. I would say that it's between. I would say that like it really depends how my life is going, but generally I lean more towards grandiose. Finally, maybe. A narcissist ceases to be one when they confront themselves. Heavy disagree. It's like it's like having cancer. It's like it's like just knowing you have it doesn't really fix anything. That's a little bit different. For obviously, I would say having that awareness can lead to some very quick improvements to certain degrees, but like emotional dysregulation is still a thing. Emotional self-esteem fluctuations. Things along those lines. Like there's still a lot of symptomology that kind of sticks around that needs a lot more than just being self-aware. So pentagy. I don't know how to call it. Um, yeah, rejecting like that's a weird one. Rejecting praise that with self-deprecation.